For Wilson's attorneys, it took years of investigating and court proceedings to get to yesterday's verdict. Jonathan Polasic sat down with two of Wilson's attorneys who talked about the long process to get there. Jonathan, how did they describe it?
Good evening, Crystal. A long, exhausting, tedious trial, sometimes described as unnecessary at times by Wilson's attorney. It's now finally over. David Wilson's world was turned upside down the moment he pulled the trigger in March 2019, protecting his home and family, ultimately taking the life of Midland police officer Nathan Heidelberg. That night changed everything for a man known for his kindness.
Very dedicated to his family, self-made man who's really worked hard to get where he is, very religious, very faithful, and very remorseful about what happened. This is not something that he takes lightly, and he's going to have to live with this the rest of his life.
Representing a man accused of murder, not an easy task, especially when they knew that their client was not guilty.
A lot of people ask me, what's the hardest part of your job? How do you represent guilty people? And that is not the hardest part. The hardest part is representing people like David Wilson, who are innocent, who have not only the law, but the facts on their side as well.
No matter what happens in the justice system, it's the court of public opinion that Wilson must now face.
David Wilson has gone through the most unimaginable 3 years. He has lost sleep, he's been depressed, he won't go out in public, he won't even go meet his friends for lunch in Midland. He'll go to Odessa if he even does that. He won't go out for dinner with his family.
The message tonight, the jury has spoken.
Well, I think after 90 minutes of deliberations, I think it tells us that they, disagreed very strongly about David Wilson being charged with murder on this case. They spent a lot of time listening to the evidence and seeing a lot of visual and audio evidence that was admitted to him. So it's relief.
A hopeful new beginning for Wilson, a man exonerated. Now, I was in the courtroom as the jury came back with its verdict, and as you can imagine, it was very emotional. Wilson broke down in tears, embracing his team and his family, the end of a near 3-year nightmare. Now, the story is far from over. Both Wilson and the family of Officer Nathan Heidelberg, they have filed lawsuits that are making their way through the court system. They filed those lawsuits against the alarm system company. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Reporting live in Midland, Jonathan Polasic, News West 9.